Welcome to the No Name Brand Podcast. My name is Sashka Hanarappel, actress, singer, dancer, turned brand marketing, sales, and advertising strategist who brands your soul. And each week I bring you an inspiring person or message to help you discover your undergod, turn up your leadership notches, challenge the status quo, because you're fast and furious with a powerful message to share with the world. Thank you for taking time out with me today, and without further ado, let's get our creative and wisdom juices flowing. Shazam, folks, and I am back. Have you missed me? I know I've missed you, especially sharing lovely goodies with you, like our next guest, who is all about happiness. In fact, 365 days of it. Now, I'd love for you to visualize her. Now, if you're a Wizard of Oz fan, okay, I'm taking you back, but still, bear with me. Recall Dorothy into your memory. That red hair, gorgeous bright eyes, and infectious smile, which isn't far off from what our next guest envisioned herself to become. An oldie but goldie Hollywood actress, but without the red hair. And her wicked witch was conquering daily circumstances that held her from living her life of happiness, which she found sat in her heart and not in her surroundings. Ooh! Our next guest is almost too good to be true, as she is delighted by anything and sees magic in everything. Damn! Her joyous outlook and openness to life and kindness is definitely not something to be messed with, especially with her gift of intuition to heal and see, feel, think, taste, and smell. Yep, all of them. Everything beyond her physical being. Her biggest dream is to show people, especially those that flock to her, to pour their hearts out and shift to happiness, how possible it is to live a vivid and happy life, no matter where you are in your life. She wants to raise your frequency of the world high and higher, spreading and teaching happiness. Think it's too good to be true? Well, let's find out together, shall we? Let's put our happy vibes together for the one and only Jacqueline Pirtle. Hello, Jacqueline.
Well, hello. Thank you. This introduction is amazing. Oh my gosh, I felt like I went to a movie. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. So just before we started and before I start my question, you mentioned that you sing. So go ahead, sing us a one-liner. Our heels are alive. Now you...
Oh no, please not.
We'll first get you warmed up and then we'll go into that part. Yes, baby. So let's start off by finding out, what doesn't make you happy?
What does not make me happy?
Yeah.
Well, that's a good one. It always is going to be asked, what does make you happy? So what does not make me happy? When I shift myself into not feeling good, that makes me not feel good, which is not happy, which then though turns into a gift, because I say, oh, wait a minute, I don't feel good. I lost where I would like to be, where I want to be. So to shift myself back. So in reality, that not happy feeling is an amazing alarm system for me, right? So thank God I have it, right? Because then I can say, wait a minute, that's not what I want to do or be or feel. Then I can shift myself back.
Are there things or circumstances that don't make you happy? Like stupid robot traffic lights, that was South African. A traffic light in South African is called a robot.
I know.
They caught me off guard.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we actually just moved to a state. We'll not name it, on the East Coast in America. No. It's just they have cameras now. So it's really like you start going like, oh, I better pay attention very, very clearly. But no, it doesn't make me angry. It's just sometimes, of course, I feel I'm just like everybody else too, right? I'm a human being with all the feelings that belong to all of us. They're all gifts and incredible, and they're here to experience. So sure, I get angry too. I get sad. Oh, a good cry. I love it. But I guess where I'm coming from and what I've learned in my experience of life is that all these feelings, they're not good or bad. They just are. They're only turning bad when you decide oh, anger is bad. But until that decision, feelings are just feelings. And honestly, they're here. They're part of your physical experience here. They're here to be experienced. But then what? So let's say I get angry, I experience it, right? The important part, the way I do it and what I teach and what my whole philosophy is about is to then acknowledge it. Oh, I'm angry. Without digging deep, having a tea party and sitting there and, you know, why and all that, and then beat yourself up over it. No, I'm angry. Yeah. Well, now what do I do? If sometimes being angry feels good, right? Come on, listen, a good anger, that power that rises in you. You know, nobody out there can really say I'm not powerful because you can get angry, right? And you can feel your anger. Well, that's power. To then really feel that power and then go clean your house, wash your car, mow the lawn, do something incredible that maybe you don't really want to do and just pull through and push through and get it done, right? But then there comes this moment when being angry feels good where it doesn't feel good. We all have that. It's like a switch, right? I'm angry. It's all great. Yay, yippee-hoo. And then it doesn't feel good anymore. And that's that moment that I see and I realize where that does not feel good anymore. So what would feel good? And that's when you switch to something else because you're kind of done with that. It's like life is an ever going, ever moving forward, every split second experience. Now, if you keep stuck in that anger, then of course it's not going to work. It's not going to produce anything better and your next won't be better. But if you go with the flow of constant moving, so I'm angry, yay, or it does not feel good. Okay, I'm shifting. That is the trick of the whole thing. Same with sadness, same with happiness. You know, it's like if you're jumping on a trampoline and you're dancing and you're laughing out loud, there comes a moment where I said, I cannot laugh out loud anymore. Well, switch. And funny enough, automatically, now that I'm saying that, automatically we actually do switch to something more quiet. Well, we have to reprogram ourselves to do the same switch. So in reality, we're all already professional feeling switchers because we can do it from laughing, dancing to something more peaceful.
Yeah, can we switch happiness on?
Yes, I believe so. It takes commitment. It takes practice. It takes feeling good, which happiness is really anything that makes you feel good is happiness in my eyes. So you got to commit to it. You got to make it a priority that today it's not about chores. It's not about my list, what I got to get done. It's not about anything else but me feeling good. That's my commitment to myself, to my day, to the world. Because if you're happy, you make the whole world a better place to be in. So yeah, you can make yourself happy when you do that. And then when you practice it, you have to really get deep into the acknowledging, realizing, feeling, and just let go of any expectations. Because happiness can be so many things. A good cry, a good anger, a good smile, a good dance, a good cup of tea, a good cleaning the toilet and starting to sing, which I will not sing for you. I don't have that talent. But anyway, but you can create happiness, yes. And I tell you what, that's all on the outside. But in reality, you are happiness and happiness is you. And it's never separate. You're never separate from happiness. I believe very strongly that you are happiness already. And happiness is already you because every breath you take is this happiness of you being here, getting to experience this physical life, right? Every heartbeat, blood pumping through your body is happiness because it feels good, right? So the first step would always be to commit and then practice it in the inside, to just sit for a minute and feel your body, all that happiness, that grace, that joy, that aliveness, that vividness is in you. That's all happiness. And then recycle it towards the outside, right? I always say, recycle, people, recycle. You feel it and create it inside of you. You manifest it on the outside and you become aware of it. And then, very important, recycle. Become aware of it, like really feel it, see it, hear it, taste it, smell it, and think of it. Wow, this flower is incredible, and feel it, speak, chit chat with that flower. And then you recycle that feeling back inside of you, that happiness. And then you can go on to the next one. manifest the next one. And then, right, it's like a two-part thing. You create, you manifest, you are happiness. Recycle. Because without the recycling, you're not feeding that constant. And every time you recycle, you help that flower too. Well, that flower helps you too. You just co-created in this huge energy pool of the world, all this magic that already is there.
Yeah. But why does society, on a whole, that we're all searching for happiness, but we treat it as this trippy, hippie thing, and it's kind of like, oh, I don't want to be like that happy. Like, it's just like, so what kind of happiness is it that everyone's looking for? And why do we associate it so much with that image?
A lot of times it's like, oh, it's a happy person, must be something wrong,
Yeah.
right? It's like, I hear that all the time. There must be something wrong. You know, I'm like, oh, I have all my traumas, my backpack, all these things that happened to me. But I tell you what, that made and makes me who I am today. That's why my book exists. That's why my coaching exists. That's why I can help people. So I can't really look back and say, oh my gosh. No, I can look back and say, wow, this is incredible, because look at me now. I will be empty like a balloon without air, without that stuff. So I might as well just embrace it like the balloon embraced the air and go fly, right? And share that with the people. But I believe very strongly, and I've heard that before, it's so exhausting to be happy.
Oh, wow.
Well, it's because we do happiness, right? And that's also, I think, why some people have trouble in saying, or saying, I don't want to be that happy thing, kind of like, and whatnot, right? It's kind of weird. It's not supposed to be like that. Kind of like, and I don't know. It's because that is when you do happiness. Happiness is not something you do, it's something you are, right? And it's that aha moment that in their eyes and their hearts, I see it sparkling when I work with somebody newly and they realize that, right? We say in Switzerland, I'm from Switzerland, so we have a thingy that says the 20 fell, you know, the 20 money, right? The coin just fell. You know, this aha moment. I know American, it does not even translate.
Oh, it's the penny dropped.
The penny dropped.
Yeah.
Wow. It's not that I got to go seek or do happiness, because that's exhausting. Think about it. Every split second of this forward moving life, you are always looking for the next happiness, creating more happiness. That's exhausting. That's going to become your job. No. It's when you are happiness, when you live happiness, when I always say be and live your happiness. Yeah. And that goes back to your breath. There's so much good feeling. This deep breath and out, there's so much good feeling in there, right? Your heartbeat. Oh, have you ever sat and just felt your heartbeat, right? It's amazing. And look at your beautiful feet, your beautiful hands, your beautiful teeth, your smile, your eyes, whatever you love in your body. I hope you love a lot about your body. Just feel that happiness, right? And if you do it, it's really hard. And that's the seeking part. If you are and you live your happiness, the truth you already are, and you're here to experience and to live, then it's easy because you live your truth, right?
Yeah. So you've got a book. Tell us about your book and why you actually wrote about it. I mentioned it. It's 365 Days of Happiness. Why did you decide to write a book about it? Were you happy writing it? What made you happy writing it?
That's funny. Well, first of all, it's based on my beliefs, the way I live, and then, of course, my work, right? Which is my passion, really. And I wanted to dedicate every day of 2017, that's when this whole thing started, you know, New Year's Eve. And I said, that's it. I'm going to dedicate every single day of 2017 to write about happiness and see what happens, because I'm this happiness passionist, this believer. And there's always this constant message in my head in the background saying, Jacqueline, but there's got to be a better, happier way to do this, right? It's like this salesperson in the back of my head saying, but Jacqueline, and I constantly always have that. And I love that voice because it keeps me on track. It's just what works and what I love sharing. So anyway, so I said, that's it. I'm going to do that. I'm just going to write every single day, see what happens. And then these writings just turned then into a blog, and the blog turned into helping people. And that's it. I'm going to make a book out of it. So anyways, like the third, fourth month or whatnot in a year. And yeah, there were days where I got up and thought, what am I going to write now? I got to be something. Yesterday was really cool. So I got to beat that, do something cool again. So, and that's just kind of, and I challenge myself, but it's not really, come on, let's face it. This is not really challenging me. It's challenging all the supernatural, intuitive forces out there, right? To channel that book through me. I always say the book found me, right? Because this idea just kind of dropped in my head, right? So I always say the book found me, and I was just happy enough to listen and to just really sit down and write. It's not even in my mother language, and I've never written a book before. So it's like really odd, but that's what happens when you follow your heart and you follow in a spiritual level. You follow what you're guided to do and channel all that, right? That's what happens, right? Wow, I wrote a book, really? And then that's what actually then turned into the book after many editorial rounds, of course. And what happened to me in that whole year, 2017, writing it, I tell you what, I'm not the same person anymore. I was happy before. Yeah, right. Now it's just this deep understanding of consciously just in the now, in the moment of being happy. And that's what happens with people that picked up the book and are practicing it. It's just, they say it's just this aha moment every single day. And it's not complicated. It's not a hard language to read. It's like I did it very conversational and very fun. Like people really giggle all the time about it. And it's just like what happens in life to everyone, to then turn this into this spiritual focus all day long. And 365 days, you do that, adds up, right? I mean,
it does add up, yeah.
It's like
to a book.
Yeah, but also like, I know it's a big fat book. But also like it adds up every day if you focus on something like that. And then you go out and hustle and bustle in your thing, and all day you focus on that thing. Then something happens during the day and you're like, wait a minute, day 6 a week ago, I read about that's what I'm going to do. Right? It kind of sticks on you like the pollen on a bee, right? Every day. Because to me, being happy is an everyday kind of moment without any expectations, because happiness comes in many ways, shapes and sizes and forms and people and whatnot, and even in different senses, It's just that every day, every moment, you kind of grab that, right? And you get better and better.
What was happiness like whilst you were growing up? Were you a happy kid, or was it a happy childhood? Or where was like, okay, what did you learn out of that to anchor the happiness within you, to see, oh, it's actually really within me, not outside of me?
Yeah, to me, it's like it started when I was little. So you mentioned at the beginning, I'm this redhead lady now, which back in time, I was a redhead little girl growing up in Switzerland, where thoughts about redheaded kids was still kind of stuck in this thinking that we're not such good people, and this whole witch thing and being burned and whatnot. So it was still a big thing when I grew up as a redhead girl. So there was a lot of bullying and teasing and loneliness and whatnot. And then back then I was too little to realize, come on, let's face it, I was a little girl and I was, sad and hurt and lonely. But looking back, of course, I see exactly that actually strengthened the superpower that I have today, which is to be and live my happiness, right? Because I was alone a lot. I was quiet a lot because I thought, well, I might better not say anything already. They're already looking at my hair, right? Anyway, so out of that then just grew this, I just want to feel good. Well, I couldn't do it in the outside, not much. So I did it in the inside. And looking back at this, it's like really, it grew into a superpower that just sits in me. But if you think about it, it came out of an uncomfortable situation. Some might call it a trauma, right? But it was a gift, right? It really, really was a gift, because it made me who I am today. So happiness was not so high on my list on the outside or when I was little growing up. It was a lot of, good cries were a lot of happiness for me back then. So
wow, cleansing the soul. That's really... Yeah, and you've come to terms with it, which is really amazing, and working with others that need the healing and the intuition. Which brings me to our last questions, and one of them being, how do you want to challenge or change the world doing what you do?
Well, it's not so much about how I want to change the world. It's more about, to me, my beliefs is that I am, in every split second, the best, most happiest being I can be, most kindest, most loving, most whatnot. And I mess up too, don't worry. But in every split second that I am the best, happiest me that I can be, because that then turns towards the outside and it spreads, because we're all connected. It spreads in these waves, right? And hopefully it inspires others to say, oh, wait a minute, I want a chunk of that. I'm going to do the same. So my focus is really, it sounds selfish, but it's not. I have a real hidden hope for doing that. You know, I'm sneaky to really be the best me and then just cover everything in my awareness with it and see what happens. And so far it has actually worked. So
I love that. I love that. I'd love your take on 3 of my values. So you fill in the blank, what it means to you. So creativity for you is?
Letting my heart open, ripping it wide open, and letting my heart play with anything that makes me happy, but in a playful, really fun way.
Passion for you is?
Passion for me is when I rip my heart open and let it flow with whatever creates this deep, deep love for me. And then I lose myself in that. And that's, for me, that's that flow, right? It's it's all about love.
Wisdom for you is?
Wisdom for me is when I feel, not necessarily here in my head, but when I feel in my heart that it's the right thing to do. It's that intuition, you can call it. It's the spirit, souls talking. For everybody, it's God for some people. Whatever it is, I don't want to name it really, but for me, it's when in my heart, I feel that it's right for me.
I love that. Jacqueline, thank you so much for being with us here today and sharing all your happiness. I know I have the book, 365 Days of Happiness, and I haven't gotten all through it, 365. I've gotten to about 21, I think. So that's 3 weeks of worth. Great, great, great writing, and it's really encouraging and inspiring, and I encourage our listeners, if you need a little bit of happiness, then to dive into the book as well. You can find out more about Jacqueline in the show notes, on the website, her social media handles, her favorite book, her favorite quote, just to get to know her a little bit more. Infect yourself a little bit with all that happiness. So thank you so much, Jacqueline, for being here. Keep being happy. Keep challenging the world with happiness from the inside out. And for our listeners, we will see and hear each other next week. So in the meantime, I would love for all of you to be happy, to do what you do, fast and furious, and to keep being the change that you want to see in the world. That's all from us today, folks. See you next week. Love you all. Bye.
Bye.
Dang, that was just supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I enjoyed having you on board, and please do me and you a favor. Head on over to iTunes, SoundCloud, or Stitcher. Click subscribe, and a super bonus, leave your review and you stand a chance of being announced and advertised on the show. I'm always striving to ensure that your brand is uplifted and empowered. Remember, done is better than perfect. So be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and send in your feedback too. You're the absolute best. Keep rocking.